Pay attention to this security camera footage. March 8th, 2024. Luxury event venue downtown. Charity gala. The camera captures an elegant ballroom, crystal chandeliers, well-dressed guests, a live orchestra playing something slow and timeless. And there, on the dance floor, you see them. An elderly man in a tailored midnight blue tuxedo, silver hair, posture still proud despite his years, and a young black woman in a deep emerald evening gown. They're dancing slowly, tenderly. He smiles up at her like she's the only person in the room. She leans closer when he speaks. Then he lifts a hand to her cheek. She bends slightly, and he kisses her. Not reckless, not scandalous. Gentle, certain, real. In the background, guests turn. Some stare, some whisper. Some look openly disapproving. The security camera records exactly 10 seconds of it. 10 seconds that will be extracted from the venue's system. 10 seconds that will be forwarded to two people who watch it with rage. Within 10 days, the young woman in that footage will be dead, buried in the woods. The elderly man will die believing she abandoned him for money. And when the truth surfaces, an entire family will be destroyed. But to understand how a moment of love became evidence in a murder conspiracy, we have to go back. April 10th, 2024, 6:34 a.m., 40 miles outside the city. A deer hunter named Dale Morrison notices disturbed earth in a clearing, branches piled unnaturally. The smell reaches him first. Then he sees it. A hand, partially exposed. Police arrive at 7:18 a.m. They uncover a body. Female, late 20s, athletic build. Deceased approximately 4 weeks. Clothing still intact. Dental records confirm her identity by noon. Her name is Aaliyah Hayes, 29 years old. Personal trainer. Reported missing March 20th. Cause of death, blunt force trauma, strangulation. Defensive wounds on her hands. This was not random. This was deliberate. And it begins with a man named Edward Whitmore. Edward Whitmore was 76 years old, a wealthy widower worth $5.8 million. His wife, Eleanor, had died in 2020 after 51 years of marriage. He had 2 adult children, Gregory, 52, Nathan, 49. Both lived nearby, both rarely visited. Edward once told a friend, "When my wife died, I thought my children would step closer. Instead, they stepped back." In August 2022, Edward suffered a minor stroke. His doctor recommended physical therapy and light exercise. He joined Apex Fitness that September. That's where he met Aaliyah. Aaliyah Hayes, 6 feet tall, strong, focused, raised in foster care, never knew her parents. At 25, she married her high school sweetheart. 6 months later, he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He died at 27. For a year, Aaliyah moved through life like she was underwater. Work became survival, training clients, counting reps, staying in motion. Because if she stopped, grief would swallow her whole. One Wednesday morning in October 2022, Edward sees her across the gym. She's correcting a client's form, patient, calm, encouraging. He watches longer than he means to, not because she's young, but because she's alive in a way he hasn't felt in years. Their first conversation lasts 30 seconds. She hands him a water bottle he dropped. "You're doing great," she says. And he drives home feeling something unfamiliar. Anticipation. They begin working together in January 2023, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. At first, it's professional. Light resistance training, core stability, balance work. But between sets, they talk. He tells her about Eleanor, about building a business from nothing, about loneliness. She tells him about foster homes, about holding her husband's hand as he died, about the promise she made to live fully, even after loss. Somewhere between February and April, they stop being trainer and client. They become two people who understand grief. By summer, the shift is undeniable. They're not pretending anymore. Walks in his garden, classic films in his home theater, dinner at the dining table he hadn't used in years. In August 2023, they fall asleep on the couch. He wakes at 2 a.m., watching her breathe softly, and realizes he loves her. Not because she's young, not because she's beautiful, but because she makes him feel alive. They keep it private. Until March 8, 2024. The gala. Edward is tired of hiding. "I don't have time left to live cautiously," he tells her. They arrive together. Heads turn immediately. A 76-year-old man, a 29-year-old black woman. Whispers begin before they reach the ballroom. But when they dance, none of it matters. "I love you," he says. "I love you too," she answers. And the camera captures 10 seconds. 10 seconds that change everything. The next morning, the venue owner sends the clip to Gregory Whitmore. "Thought you should see this." Gregory watches, then calls Nathan. Rage replaces disbelief. That evening, they confront their father. "Who is she?" "Someone I love," Edward says calmly. They accuse her of manipulation, of targeting him, of waiting for inheritance. He tells them about the new will, signed March 5th. Each son receives $500,000. The remaining $4.8 million? To establish the Elena Hayes Memorial Fund for Pancreatic Cancer Research in honor of Aaliyah's late husband. Plus a clause. If anyone is convicted of harming Aaliyah, they inherit nothing. The room goes silent. Then Gregory says quietly, "We'll fix this." They try bribery first. March 12th, parking garage behind the gym. They offer Aaliyah $200,000 to leave Edward. She laughs once. "You think I'm with him for money?" She refuses, drives away. That night, Gregory makes another call. To Julian Cross, former military. Handles problems. They agree on $75,000, half up front. March 18th, 7:52 p.m. Aaliyah parks in her underground garage. Julian steps from behind a pillar. Blow to the head. She fights, hard, scratches his arm, but he's trained, stronger. She goes limp. By 10:30 p.m., she's buried in the woods. The next day, Gregory calls his father. "She took money and left." Edward refuses to believe it. But days pass, no calls, no texts. Silence becomes doubt. Doubt becomes heartbreak. On March 23rd, Edward suffers Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, broken heart syndrome. He dies 3 days later, believing she abandoned him. When Aaliyah's body is found in April, police connect everything. Phone records, cash withdrawals, burner phones. Julian confesses within a week. Gregory ordered it. Nathan knew. The motive? Inheritance. At trial, the prosecution says it plainly. They killed Aaliyah Hayes. Then they lied to their father. That lie broke his heart. Literally. The medical examiner testifies. If he had known the truth, he likely would not have died. The jury deliberates 8 hours. Guilty. Gregory, life without parole. Nathan, 35 years. Julian, 25 years. Then the final blow. Under the Slayer statute, they cannot inherit. The clause activates. The entire $5.8 million estate goes to the Elena Hayes Memorial Fund. Cancer research. In her husband's name. In her memory. In Edward's honor. The gala footage airs nationally. 10 seconds of dancing, of tenderness, of two people who found each other in grief. People watch it differently now, not as scandal, but as proof. They weren't foolish. They weren't delusional. They were in love. Gregory and Nathan believed happiness had an age limit, believed love must look acceptable, believed inheritance mattered more than dignity. They killed a woman who refused to be bought. They lied to a father who only wanted companionship. And in the end, they lost everything they were trying to protect. Ryan and Margaret are gone, but the money meant to divide them now saves lives. Sometimes justice doesn't prevent tragedy, but sometimes it arrives afterward, precise, final, on paper, and in prison, and in a fund that grows every year, because love, even when destroyed, can still outlive greed.